What's up, Top 10 fam? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host, Eamon Hassan.
I'm not your permanent host, but I'm back again. My name is Jared Bronstein.
He's just always here, like.
I'm a scary figure that's just creeping onto the channel.
Make sure, you guys, we've said this so many times now, but make sure to check out Top 10 Central.
You guys don't want to miss this channel. It's honestly full of laughs, lighthearted, fun things. Pretty much the opposite of this channel, which is scary and horrifying and gives me nightmares. So, click right over here. We got the link in the description down below. I mean, if you guys are sick of seeing my face by now, I get it, but come see more of it on the channel.
I am too. I'm like always with him. I'm like, goddamn.
Feelings mutual.
But without further ado, these are the top 10 scary unsolved mysteries caught on camera. Starting us off at number 10 is the Battery Man. Slavisa Pajkic, aka Biba Struja, aka Electric Biba, is a man who since the age of 17 has apparently had electricity coursing through his body at all times. He can literally fry a hot dog with his bare hands. He claims he's an insulator, accumulator, conductor, and heater all in one. Using 2 metal pins, he can even make a light bulb light up, even though if any normal person touched 220 volts, they would die. Not him though, it's not even a thing for him. Just makes it look so easy. He even makes an electric circuit with him and a bunch of his students holding hands, and he helps people with their sinus and back problems, their migraines. Like, look at what his touch does to these people. Look at this clip right now.
Rada u grad I pomaže ljudima, migrena, glavobolja, sinusi, problemi sa kičmom, trudim se 50-50.
And if that didn't manage to convince you, he became a Guinness World Record holder back in 1981 when he touched a few thousand volts. He also heated water to 97 degrees Celsius in the record time of 1 minute and 37 seconds. And no one knows how he has this power, how the electricity entered him and never left, how he controls it, or how he hasn't died from it yet. We just have no idea. But I would love to be like a walking appliance. It would save me so much money in electricity.
In at number 9, the PAULDING light. A small light that appears in a valley outside of Paulding, Michigan. This has been a mystery that has been puzzling investigators since the 1960s.
It almost looks like a flame, man.
How it flickers?
Yeah, it looks like a flame out there.
Look, it's red on it.
It's coming real close.
Yeah, you see it? It's going red now.
Some believe it's a ghost, while others claim it could be some sort of geological activity or even some natural gases. The light appears in the same spot almost every night, and of course there are tons of myths and legends surrounding the light. Some claim it's the light of a railroad brakeman who was killed while trying to stop an oncoming train from colliding with a car stuck on the tracks. Others claim it's a grandparent looking for a lost grandchild, using a lantern that needs constant relighting, which is why the light seems to come and go. In 2010, the Paulding light was featured on the show Fact or Faked Paranormal Files, who couldn't come up with a reasonable explanation for the random light.
At number 8, we have the disappearance of FREDERICK VALENTICH. On the 21st of October 1978, Australian pilot FREDERICK VALENTICH was doing a 125 nautical mile training flight. Now, the 20-year-old had no idea that that would be the last flight of his career. Known as a flying saucer enthusiast, FREDERICK radioed Melbourne air traffic control saying this.
Is there any known traffic below 5,000 feet?
No known traffic.
Seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000 feet.
Now, if you didn't understand what he said and it's unclear, he's asking if there's any known traffic below 5,000 feet. They respond saying no known traffic. He then claimed there was an unidentified aircraft that was following him at 4,500 feet, which clearly wasn't a plane. It was illuminated by 4 bright landing lights and seemed to be moving at quite a fast speed. He then reported that it seemed to be approaching him from the east and that maybe the pilot was pranking him. The craft started orbiting above him, and that's when Frederick started experiencing engine problems. Now have a listen to the last few things he said in his transmission before contact was lost.
It's not an aircraft, it's hovering, and it's not an aircraft.
Search parties were sent out and covered 1,000 square miles around the perimeter, yet he was never found. The last thing he says is it's not an airplane, and then contact just gets lost. Like, where did you go? Were you abducted by aliens?
At lucky number 7, Dale Kerstetter. This mystery is exactly that because no one knows the answers to anything, really. September 12th, 1987, Kerstetter started his weekend shift as a security guard at the Corning Glassworks plant in Bradford, Pennsylvania. When another security guard arrived the next morning to relieve Kerstetter of his shift, Dale was nowhere to be found. $250,000 of platinum pipe was also missing. However, Kerstetter's truck was still in the parking lot, and after the police were called to investigate, they were stumped. The keys to the truck were still in the ignition. Kerstetter, a heavy smoker, left left behind a full carton of cigarettes. The only thing missing was his .22 caliber pistol. What's even more interesting is Dale's lunchbox was full, and upon reviewing security footage, about 10 minutes into Kerstetter's shift, a masked man is seen approaching the back of the plant. Kerstetter is seen walking up to him and then looked directly at the camera. The two men were never seen again. To this day, some believe Kerstetter was part of a heist, while others think he was coerced into the crime. He was looking at the camera as a signal of asking for help. Kerstetter had 6 kids and 2 grandchildren at the time of his disappearance. No one has seen or heard from him since that night, and many are still wondering what really happened to Dale Kerstetter.
Now at number 6 is the sand geysers. So everyone knows about water geysers. They're out here going to Iceland and chilling in those hot geyser baths and whatnot. Nothing new, I wish I could do that. But back in 2008, in the eastern city of Al-Asa in Saudi Arabia, a sand geyser just appeared out of nowhere. The sand was coming out and reached 9 meters in vertical length, but no one was able to explain how the phenomenon was happening. Several Almaco geological teams went to the site to get to the bottom of it, but they simply couldn't. Some claim it could have been because of an earthquake tremor, since some sand volcanoes form during large earthquakes, but 11 years later they're still clueless about the real origins of the sand geyser.
Halfway through our list at number 5, the Cowboy Bandit. This one is insane because this guy somehow has been eluding the police for over 30 years. It started back in 1987 on September 19th, when a man entered a bank in Spokane, Washington and robbed them of $100,000. The man who robbed the bank was described as wearing glasses, a cowboy hat, and cowboy boots. When he pulled the gun on the teller asking to be taken to the vault, he also revealed a police scanner, making it clear he'll know if anyone calls for the police. After completing his first robbery, the Cowboy Bandit would go on to rob about a dozen banks total, even being captured on camera at some of them. Although it took a while to get the bandit on camera, while he was robbing a bank, one of the tellers set off a bill trap, which is located under some of the bills the tellers were handing over to the bandit during a robbery. This not only notified the police, but also activated the bank's cameras. Still, even though he was caught on camera, to this day, law enforcement have not been able to find the Cowboy Bandit.
At number 4 is the max headroom interruption. Now I feel like many people have seen this signal interruption that happened back in November of 1987 already, but we're going to show it again. The signal intrusion happened at about 9 PM during the Sportscast News on WGN-TV and lasted about 28 seconds. The second intrusion happened during Doctor Who and that lasted about 90 seconds. It's been 30 years now and the hijackers behind the interruption are still unknown, and honestly the whole thing was just really creepy. The person in the video is wearing a max headroom mask and sunglasses with this buzzing sound in the background. In the first intrusion he's just swaying from side to side, bobbing his head up and down in front of this metallic striped background. In the second one, the person actually talks, saying he's a freaking nerd. Heeing away, he starts humming and singing a song and seems like he's on some kind of high level of drugs. He goes on to say, "I just made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds," and I mean, he's not wrong. 30 years later, we're still talking about it, trying to figure out who it was.
In at number 3, Leah Rowland. At around 10:30 AM on March 20th, 1997, Leah Rowland was working as the manager of a gas station in Nebraska. The mother of 2 had just gotten promoted the day before and didn't think twice when a red Pontiac Ram pulled in to get some gas. The man in the red car walked into the gas station without shoes on and sweatpants rolled up to his knees. He waited for a mother and her daughter to leave the store and then approached the counter. Leah was instructed to hand over the money in the cash register, which she did, a total of $150. She was then told to lay on the ground. Complying with everything the robbers said, Leah wasn't expecting him to shoot her 3 times, twice in the arm and once in the head, killing her instantly. The suspect then took off with the money, some soda, a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, and the gas he filled his car up with. Although there was surveillance footage of the entire crime, to this day, Leah's killer has never been found.
Now at number 2 is the Hampton Court Palace ghost. Now this grand estate was the home of Henry VIII and all his 6 wives and all their kids. And I feel like I learned about this guy in history at primary school more than I learned about anyone. It was a tie between him and both world wars, so I mean that's saying something. So the staff at the palace had the alarm go off, which meant the fire doors were open, but when they rushed to check there was nothing there. But in the footage you can see the doors opening even though no one's physically opening them, and then a man appears out of nowhere in medieval clothing and leaves through the doors.
You don't see the doors actually being pushed open by hand. Figure strides forward and slams them shut. As you can see, and close-ups have shown that it appears to be dressed in medieval clothes, similar to what Henry VIII would have worn.
Now, no one saw any person come in and out of the building, yet the footage shows otherwise, and it looks like a skinnier version of Henry VIII, to be honest. Like maybe the afterlife made him skinnier. A good diet plan, though.
Taking the top spot on our list at number 1, Bigfoot. Now you most likely already know the story here, but for those that don't, well, it's quite an interesting one. Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson filmed what some say is a real-life Bigfoot, and others claim to be a hoax way back in 1967. The story goes the two men were searching for Bigfoot. Patterson claimed to have seen large footsteps earlier in the week and convinced Gimlin to go on a journey with him. When the two returned to the area where Patterson had originally found the prints, they were washed away due to rain. Still, the two men trekked deep into the woods on horseback. Then out of nowhere, Patterson's horse started jumping around, and then they saw it. Bigfoot on the other side of a creek. Patterson reached for his camera and started to record, but as he got closer, he tripped on some sticks. The noise got the attention of Bigfoot, who made eye contact with the men and then kept walking deeper into the woods, as you could see on the footage.
When I first saw her, she was standing upright. I thought, you know, this is unreal.
To this day, there's still a debate about whether or not the footage is real, and Gimlin doesn't seem to care to make people believe him. He knows what he saw on that day.
And that's it for today's video, guys.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been your guest host for the past couple of videos with Eamon. My name's Jared Bronstein.
In case you don't know, I'm Eamon Hassan.
And before we wrap this one up, of course, you gotta be sure to check out Top 10 Central.
Yes.
I think you'll like it. You think they'll like it?
I think they'll like it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like us, then you'll like the channel, I'm just saying.
Yeah, why not? So just click right over here. We got a link in the description down below. And thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
You're the real MVP. See you guys. Why are you adding me?
No, because the intro's always improvised.
So start talking.
But with that being said, I don't know what the title of the video is, actually.
Top 10 unsolved mysteries caught on camera.
Oh, kidding it.
Is that what it is? He's got no idea. I'm like almost positive it's top 10 unsolved mysteries caught on camera.
I don't know if I trust you, actually.
It is top 10 unsolved mysteries caught on camera.
And what if it's not? What if
I'm willing to bet $100.
Okay. Yeah. No, wait!
She shook on camera, you guys saw it.
I was kidding! At number 8, we have the disappearance of Frederick Valentich. At number Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's not, right? Let's not do that.
Excuse me.
At number 4 is the max headroom interruption. Now the signal intrusion happened during the sportscast news on Are we ready?
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm on point, as per usual. The signal
When a red Pontiac Grand AM, is it Grand Am? Grand Am.
Yeah, Grand Am.
But in the footage, hi.
And that's all she wrote.